it going, everyone? And today this was gonna be a video about fixing the sound on this thing, on our Die Hard arcade, but it would have been a very, very, very short video. I was messing around with our volume control up front here under our control panel, and that wasn't doing anything for me. So I figured we had a problem on the board. Well, you know, I was looking at the board and trying to figure out, you know, where we're, come on, there we go, where our problem was. I did some testing, and our speakers were good, and I was getting 5 volts. I was getting the pulse out of our speaker wire here, but nothing. It was just a steady. There was no fluctuation, no pulsing, I should say. Okay. So we have a problem on our board. Then I figured our sound wasn't working, or, you know, our chip wasn't generating the sound. And this is our amplifier sitting right here. Well, kept looking at it. I didn't see nothing, so I took the board up off of here and set it down on the bench and got to looking at it really close. Looked at some schematics. What's strange is you can use the Sega Saturn schematics for your STV board. It's a little different, but mainly everything is on there, and it still works the same as a Sega Saturn. If you have, you know, any experience with the Sega Saturn had the disk drive and the cartridge slot, so you could use a cartridge in it. So I looked at it, and then I followed the volume, the sound, all the way back, and got to looking at the amp, and, you know, just thinking, okay, well, maybe it's our amp. And then I finally noticed right in front of the amp is a volume pot. I looked at that and I said, you dumbass. So I put the board all back in, got everything all hooked up, and while I had this on the bench, I checked it. It was turned all the way down. So I put it all back in, turn that up. Oh, come on. There we go. Turned up that amp, or turned up that pot on our board, and then come up front here.
Roger, we got a bad situation down there. We got a bandit terrorist that seized control of the building.
And guess what?
They're holding 30 hostages inside, including the president's daughter. I repeat, they have the president's daughter in there.
The only thing that was wrong is the volume was turned all the way down on the board. God, talk about feeling like a dumbass. But another thing, on this universal monitor chassis, I have it adjusted the best I can. Our horizontal position is still off. You can see everything's not centered. We should, our Die Hard and everything should be all centered. Well, I have the horizontal position turned all the way over as far as it'll go, and that's the best I can get out of it. I mean, it, you know, it looks good. It's just that our position is off.
We got a bad situation.
And I haven't been able to find, let me turn this down.
Control the building. They're holding 30 inside, including the president's daughter.
But I haven't been able to find out anything, if I can do anything, any mods or anything to get it to move over a little bit. Now, if you remember when we put this in, our horizontal on our yoke was just a little bit under specs. So I'm wondering if that's what's driving that. But, you know, it's playable. I can get it to move over just a little bit more so you can see, you know, a little bit more of your map and everything on this side. Problem with it is then it starts getting deformed over here along that side. But I do kind of like it. I want to move it over as far as I can, so I'm gonna work on that a little bit in this video. And I think we need to clean this up a little bit. Our marquee, I'm going to take the face off, take the marquee apart. This, every once in a while I turn it on and the marquee doesn't come on. So I need to get in there and take a look and see why the marquee doesn't want to come on every time. I think it probably just needs a new starter. That should be a fluorescent tube that's in there. But we'll find out. And we need to get this cleaned up. I'll get it adjusted the best I can, get it moved over as far as I can. And the only other option with it is a different tube. But I don't want to do that, or buy a good U2000 Wells Gardner chassis, which they're about $300 for the chassis. If I can get it moved over a little bit more, I think we're going to live with it the way it is. I don't think, you know, some people are going to notice because they know the game, but other people will not notice that it's off a little bit. That's just the way it's going to have to be, because, you know, you can't dump too much money into these things unless you have a lot of money to dump into them, which I don't. But we definitely need to get it cleaned up, make sure our coin mechs work in it now and all that. So I think the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to play around with that monitor some more and get it moved over as far as I can, at least so we can see a little bit more of our map on this side. Shows us our map and our what weapon we have at the time. So let me see what I can do about it. Started cleaning it up, and I figured, before I get everything all cleaned up, let's tackle. Control panel cleaned up pretty nice. Okay, sorry about that. Thought we'd tackle the light. As you can see, 95, it's going to have one of those old incandescent. It's the bulb that's bad. It comes on whenever it feels like it wants to come on. And it's an 18-inch F15T8 CW. Has to be a rapid start bulb. They put a T8 in it, but on here it tells you that you should use an F15T12, which is one of those fatter bulbs. 18-inch bulbs, not, you know, it's nothing special. You can go to your hardware store and pick up those, or Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. You can pick those up anywhere you want. But I have this gorgeous LED light. It's brand new. Missing one end cap, but that's not going to hurt it because it's going to be tucked away and nobody's going to see it. So I figured we would put a little LED in it, which would be a little bit more efficient. The thing sucks enough juice. Wherever you can save a little bit of electric, and you can save it, then do it. Do it. Get her done. So we're going to go ahead and put a LED in it, and that should brighten it up a little bit more too. I cleaned up the marquee. It's faded. Well, duh. What do you expect? You know, you can see how nice it is out here where it was covered, and then on the inside where it catches all the light, and same with the black. So it is a little faded, and we'll get her. It'll look alright. It's not a museum piece. It's not a museum piece, my friends. It is a playable machine. So let me get that swapped out, and we'll get it put all back together and see how it looks with a nice brand new LED strip in it. Got the LED put in. That turned out really nice. That lightens up the whole marquee, not just the center. At some point, if I do find one that's not so faded, I can change it out anytime. Only 2 screws that hold that in the back. And I totally cleaned up the cabinet. Looks like, yeah, when they put that door on down there, they painted it flat black, and you can see they just kind of screwed around a little bit, I guess. I don't know, instead of painting the door by itself, they spray painted everything all over it. That's alright. That cabinet got all cleaned up. I think wait for my camera to adjust a little bit for the light. Both sides. Hell, I even cleaned that plate on the bottom. Control panel cleaned up nice. You know, it's yellowed, but you know, what do you expect? That's what's going to happen. And same with our instructions, they're all cleaned up. And items to pick up items. That's what it says. Items to pick up items. And all the instructions on how to play. Okay, yeah, kick, and shove. But we'll go over the rules when we do some gameplay on this. Right now, I'm just kind of getting it finished up. We didn't have to do a whole lot to this one, except, you know, put an aftermarket chassis in the monitor, and that is all I am going to be able to do with this chassis. That's all the further I can get it over. So we're going to have to live with it. Live with it. For now, you know, at least you can still see your health up top. Now it needs to be over about 3 or 4 more inches, if that, maybe 2 or 3 inches over to really center it up. But it's good enough for now. I did order a couple more of those for Buck Hunter, and these ones look a little different, so when I get them I may go ahead and swap one, put one in here just to see if there's any difference, because now that it tube and yoke and everything's all wired up and the board's all wired up, now I can just pull that one out and slide another one in and try out a different one. You know, there may be something wrong with that one, or it could just be that's all I can get out of it. Not sure. Because even the size, you know, it opens, I think I have it all the way down to where it's as small as it'll go too. But I've been playing it, and it doesn't affect your gameplay. There's nothing that you're missing. So that's fine. But I just wanted to go over that again. If you decide that you want one of those universal chassis, be prepared to do a lot of adjustments, and hopefully yours doesn't turn out like this one. But you know, hey, that's my luck. It's just the way it goes for me. But I may put another one in it and it may work just fine. Or it may be stuck all the way over the other side. Who knows? But got the coin mechs working. They're the plastic ones. I just had to wash them up, and they work fine now. You can actually put quarters in it, and it works. All the controls work. Oops, I started it. I know at some point I'll have to replace all the micro switches in the control panel. You know, and the joystick. But these ones, they are working pretty decent. Oh, I hate this little witch here. She's tough. And she's even tougher with one hand. I hate her laugh too. Now, when you run down the hallway here, got to hit this guy. Ah! Now you have to fight him. You can knock him out with the kick, but now you have to fight him. And he's not the easiest to fight either. Alright. That's just a little bit of gameplay. We'll go through it when I can use both hands and do more. But I've been letting this run now for... this is the second day I've been letting it run. I don't have this panel on it because I need to check on it now and then to see how hot it's getting in there. It's that big white, like I said, that 25 watt resistor sitting right there. You can just see the end of it. That's the one that got really hot when I first put the chassis in, and it stunk. I mean, it was bad. But and there was no smoke or anything coming off of it, but it got really warm. And after it did that the first time, now it doesn't get as hot. So I don't understand that, but I'm sure somebody out there does. All right, so I think I've rambled on long enough, and we're gonna finish up this episode with Die Hard. So until next time, I will see you on the next episode when we do some gameplay. See ya.